with your arms spread wide. Take me in like an orphan child. Never let go, never leave my side. I am holding on to you. I am holding on to you. In the middle of the storm, I'm holding on. I am. Love like this, oh my God, to find. I am overwhelmed with a joy divine. Love like this sets our hearts on fire. I am holding on to you. I am holding on to you. In the middle of the storm, I'm holding on. I am holding on to you. I am holding on to you. In the middle of the storm, I'm holding on. I am. This is my resurrection song. This is my hallelujah come. This is why it's to you I run. This is my resurrection song. This is my hallelujah come. This is why it's to you I run. There's no space that his love can't reach. There's no place where we can't find peace. There's no end to amazing grace. I am holding on to you. I am holding on to you. In the middle of the storm, I'm holding on. I am holding on to you. I am holding on to you. In the middle of the storm, I'm holding on. I am holding on to you. I am holding on to you. In the middle of the storm, I'm holding on. I am.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and you're watching The Wave. Blessings in a Backpack is preparing for its 7th year of sending food home with New Buffalo Elementary students in need of additional food on the weekends. We're planning the first of 2 food drives at Barney's. The food drive will be held on Friday, June 16th from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. and Saturday, June 17th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We're looking for volunteers to help greet Barney's customers and ask for donations for the backpack ministries. If you're available to help fill a 2 or 3 hour time slot on Friday or Saturday, please contact Mary Robertson. Please join us on Sunday, June 11th for Pastor Brad's final sermon at Water's Edge. As you may know, Pastor Brad loves nothing more than a slice of pie. So plan on staying after the 11 a.m. service and enjoy a slice of pie and a good story with our dear friend. A card box will be available to drop off well wishes. Vacation Bible School is headed to Water's Edge on June 26th to June 29th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. VBS registration is open for children entering kindergarten through 5th grade. Register online at h2oedge.org or in the Commons on Sunday mornings between 10 and 11 a.m. If you'd like to donate snack items for VBS, be sure to check out the list displayed in the Commons. Helping Hands meets on Tuesday, June 13th at 12 noon in the Commons. Bring a sack lunch and join the ministry of Water's Edge Women, whose purpose is to know God and experience freedom as a whole person through Jesus Christ. The agenda for June's meeting is learning to knit for comfort. Now let's recap what you need to know. Today's Globe offering is a thank you offering and farewell gift for Pastor Brad. Contact Mary Robertson to volunteer at the Blessings in a Backpack food drive at Barney's on June 16th and 17th. Stay for a piece of pie and Pastor Brad's farewell following the 11 a.m. service on Sunday, June 11th. Register for Vacation Bible School on Sunday morning or at Water's Edge website at h2oedge.org. Join Helping Hands for their next meeting on June 13th at noon and find out more about the ministries here at Water's Edge by going to h2oedge.org, and may God take you to the edge.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ben Bartolome, and I'm Pastor Brad's oldest son. For those of you who do know me, you know I'm not a preacher, so bear with me. But I was honored to be asked to tell you a little bit about what and why I'm about to do with my life. On Friday, I'll be moving to the East African island nation of Comoros to serve in the Peace Corps. For the first 3 months, I'll be living with a host family in the capital city of Moroni as I undergo training, mostly to learn the native language. After that, I'll be assigned elsewhere in the country to teach middle and high school English for 2 years. So let me tell you a little bit about the Peace Corps and then the country I'll be moving to. The Peace Corps is a program run by the United States government, founded by President Kennedy in 1961. The Peace Corps has 3 stated goals. First, to help the people of interested countries in meeting their need for trained men and women. Second, to help promote a better understanding of Americans on the part of the people served. And third, to help a better understanding of the people served when I return to the United States. The Peace Corps has been championed by both Democratic presidents, such as its founder, John F. Kennedy, and Bill Clinton, who created a domestic Peace Corps known as AmeriCorps. 3 years ago, I did a year in AmeriCorps working full-time in Detroit public schools. But the Peace Corps has also been a favorite program under Republican presidents such as George W. Bush, who asked Congress to double the size of the program after the September 11th attacks to help improve the understanding of the American people. The Peace Corps application process is a long one. I first noticed a flyer on campus just over a year ago. My school, Grand Valley State University, has a dedicated Peace Corps recruiter on campus, which is actually fairly rare for a school of its size. So I emailed her and met with her on campus and asked her about her experience in Nicaragua. From there, I had to begin to consider what countries I wanted to apply to and whether to complete my application by the end of June or the end of September. I chose September so that if accepted, I wouldn't be leaving until at least the spring and wouldn't have to rush to get ready after my December graduation. My degree was in accounting, so I applied for business development positions in a couple other countries, but marked on my application that I'd be willing to be considered anywhere. After a couple weeks, I received an email saying that I was being considered for an education position in Comoros, a nation that until then I didn't know existed. I believe I was probably considered for this position primarily because of my experience in Detroit, but also in large part because so many of the jobs in the Peace Corps are in education, roughly 40 to 50% of them. And the more I've learned about Comoros, the more I'm looking forward to my time there. And while I don't feel completely qualified to work as a professional educator, I'm very excited for the opportunity to work with children and working in a school, which I believe will probably be a more structured environment than many Peace Corps members find themselves in. I'm also hoping that I'll be able to do some side projects in my community, maybe helping add to a library, setting up a pen pal relationship with an American school, or if I'm lucky, working with my school to organize participation in sports. The area code for the country is 269, just like it is for Southwest Michigan, which I thought was very cool. Comoros is a nation of 3 islands in the Mozambique Channel, just off the northwest coast of Madagascar. And it is going to take me a long time to get there. On Friday, I'll take a 2-hour flight from Grand Rapids to Washington, D.C., and get to meet the 20 Americans I'll be moving to Comoros with and have our first training. Then on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, I'll leave D.C. and fly to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where when I arrive almost 14 hours later, it'll be 7:15 a.m. the next day. And then I have another 4-hour flight before I arrive in Comoros. The largest island, which has the capital city, is known as Grand Comore. The other 2 islands are known as Moheli and Anjouan. There is also a 4th island known as Mayotte that was formerly part of Comoros, but is currently administered by France. Because Mayotte is a part of France, they have increased access to healthcare and education and a per capita income of almost $10,000, which is much higher than Comoros, and has led some in Comoros to attempt to illegally immigrate there, which can be very dangerous. The islands are small but very mountainous, and the island of Grand Comore is still home to one of the tallest active volcanoes in the world, Mount Carthala, which I'm hoping to get to hike to the top of while I'm there. There is also beautiful coral reefs in the coastal waters. Comoros is also home to a rare species of fish known as coccoleth, I believe, that was believed to have gone extinct about 66 million years ago, but until in the 1980s was rediscovered to still be alive. They are about 6.5 feet long and 200 pounds and can live to be more than 60 years old. The climate is hot and humid with a temperature almost always between 75 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. However, starting in November or December and lasting until April or May, it rains basically every day. The islands were originally populated by Bantu settlers from the east coast of Africa in the 6th century AD. However, shortly after, the islanders encountered Arab traders and gradually converted to Islam. Today, about 98% of the 800,000 or so people in Comoros are Sunni Muslims. In 1841, the French arrived and placed Comoros under colonial rule. The islands were quickly transformed into plantations for sugar, vanilla, coffee, cocoa, and lang lang, a flower used in many perfumes, which is still Comoros' biggest export. Comoros achieved its independence in 1975, but there is still some French influence. The local currency is still known as a Comororian franc, and there are a couple of Roman Catholic churches that serve the minority Christian population. And the French language is still spoken by some as a second or third language, especially around the capital city and by government officials. I've been trying to learn some French the last few months and even bought a French copy of the Bible. But in addition to French and Arab influence, Comoros is still very influenced by its Bantu origins. For example, property is traditionally inherited through the mother's side of the family, which is also common in East African countries such as Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. Currently, Comoros is very poor, with a per capita income of about $1,500 annually, which for comparison, Haiti is about $1,800 and the United States is about $57,000. Poverty can certainly be a challenge to getting an education, as I unfortunately witnessed in Detroit. I've read that in some parts of Comoros, some students drop out of school to work in commercial fishing operations, some of which can pay $10 a day. Comoros also has an incredibly young population, with a median age of only 19.6 years old, compared to the US average of 37.9. The Peace Corps arrived in Comoros in 1988, but left in 1995 due to political instability. But the Peace Corps returned in 2015, a few years after the adoption of their new constitution. The Peace Corps does not actively search for opportunities to send volunteers, but instead takes requests from foreign governments. The Comorian government is eager for future generations to learn English because they believe that learning a major global language will be key to their economic development and connecting to global trade. In addition to their geographic isolation, Comoros typically only receives about 3,000 foreign visitors a year, which I think we've all been in New Buffalo on days we've had more visitors than that. Comoros is also very linguistically isolated. The native language is usually called Shikamore and is kind of a mix between Swahili and Arabic. Although only about 80% of the vocabulary overlaps between islands, so some current and former Peace Corps volunteers I've spoken to have told me that it is more useful to think of it as 3 different but similar languages, like, say, Spanish and Portuguese, rather than one language with 3 slightly different dialects, as the government suggests. Because of this, I should find out soon which island I'll be living on so that my training can begin in the local version of the language. Because the population is primarily Muslim, many people are also able to speak and read some Arabic. In fact, Shikamore is traditionally written using the Arabic alphabet, but in recent years the government has been promoting writing Shikamore in the Latin alphabet to help making learning French and English slightly easier. So the big question, I guess, is why I am doing this and how I'm currently feeling. My typical answer is that I'm 90% excited and 10% terrified. And usually that's true, but sometimes I'm 20 or 30% terrified. But I'm reminded of what President Kennedy said when asked why the United States should send a man to the moon. He quoted George Mallory, who said he wanted to climb Everest because it's there. President Kennedy said, "We choose to do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard." Comoros comes from the Arabic word for moon, and for me it is there. I've loved my life in West Michigan, and I'll miss every part of the United States except for the snow. But I think we all know that sometimes frightening changes can be the best part of life. Whether you're one of the members of our community graduating today, or you've gotten married, or had a child, or started a business, or done something as minor as some public speaking that can be challenging for you, you know the joy and the importance of looking forward. As Jesus said, if you cling to your life, you will lose it, and if you let your life go, you'll save it. So I'm going to Comoros because I hope I can be a worthy representative of our country, our community, and above all, the love of Jesus Christ you've shown me for 24 years. Thanks for having me. I believe we have some time for a few questions, and I'll also be out front if anyone wanted to ask me anything out there as well. A lot of fish, rice, and maybe some chicken, but probably no beef or pork, which I'll miss a lot. I'll be living with a host family for the training for 3 months, but I'll be living in the same city as the other volunteers I'm training with. But then for the 2 years of teaching, I'll be in my own village. But it's not a huge country, so I'm hoping I'll probably be able to visit other Peace Corps volunteers, at least have someone to speak English with. I'm not positive. Probably pretty large class, maybe 40 or 45 would be my guess. I'm not sure. So like I said, during the training, I'll be with a host family. During the actual service, I'm not sure if I'll be in a host family or on my own. Some people do both. I bought a hammock that I'll probably be sleeping in, and a mosquito net, although I think the Peace Corps provides me a mosquito net as well. So that'll take some getting used to, but it'll be nice. I'm bringing a laptop and I will use it to lesson plan at least. In the capital city, it sounds like electricity is very good, but in some parts of the country, they have a lot of blackouts. So I'm hoping I have some internet access and can communicate with people in the United States occasionally, but I'm not sure. Probably, yeah. They'll make it. The biggest island has about half the population, about 400,000, and the two smaller islands have about 200,000. So it's not a huge population, but considering the size of the islands, it's very densely populated. Yeah. I think in most parts of the country they have running water, but in some parts they'll probably have wells. And I've also heard that they don't have like freshwater lakes or rivers on the islands, so they might collect rainwater during the rainy season and use that to bathe or drink during parts of the dry season as well. Probably getting to explore the nature, go snorkeling, yeah, on my downtime. I would love to, yeah. I mean, if you want to send me a box of Twinkies, I'd appreciate that, but... Yeah, I do have my address now for the training, but I don't have my permanent address for the 2 years of service yet. But yeah, I'd love to stay in touch with all of you. So. Yeah, they would make sure I'm safe, but they don't have much violent crime at all. They're very generous people. Well, I don't know exactly which village I'll be spending my 2 years in. The capital city where I'll be doing the training in is about 50,000 people, and that's the biggest city in the country. Yes, I'll definitely take some photos. Yeah. Well, if that's all for now, I think we'll close with the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. Thank you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you.
In my life, Lord, be glorified, be glorified.
Now go in peace. As you go this week, just remember you have decided to follow Jesus, and may God take you to the edge this week. Go in peace.